It started as a simple question. Could we build a robot to compete in the national first robotics competition? We knew that we would only have a few short weeks to organize and get the information on the competition, then design, build, and test a robot able to compete against the others from around the northern hemisphere. Armed with only basic knowledge of the first program, the GM Milford Proving Ground asked Huron Valley schools to join forces, and they agreed. It was decided that all 3 high schools in the district, Milford, Lakeland, and Harbor, would be solicited for participants. The students, teachers, and GM employees would become full partners in this endeavor, with unprecedented access to high-security areas at the Proving Ground.
Is there anything anybody else, as far as general information, we need to get out before I'm going to turn it over to Bob?
For this to work, we needed everyone working together as equals on a team. That commitment never wavered during the project. 2 teachers and 2 engineers were sent to a kickoff seminar in New Hampshire in early January. There, they were versed on the rules and regulations governing the upcoming competitions. They also received key components to be used in building the robot. At the first meeting, the team numbered over 120 people. The objective and rules of the contest were explained.
They're not using balls this year, they're using inner tubes.
Just regular car inner tubes.
What is it that the robot will have to do?
Yep, for instance, you got the stack of 3, your robot begins and he comes right over, picks all 3 up.
What strategy should we employ?
You score more points if you try and get all the inner tubes on the outer pieces, or do you try and get them on the top, or what's the way you can maximize points? You've got a whole discussion around how can
what parts can we use?
These are the cables for the radio control parts. Again, we're waiting for that.
These and a million other questions came to mind as the team broke into groups to work on various pieces of the project.
I mean, you're looking at chassis design, electrical design, pneumatics design, or radio control design.
Levels of involvement were discussed, and the stage was set for the weeks that would follow. We had come to a meeting of the minds on how we were going to work together to make our partnership a success.
You know, we need to get together and work as a team, come up with some strategies.
We take a rod and we aim it towards the middle, and then make it come out and have some kind of a small hooking device on it, and put another operator.
The next couple of weeks were intense as many design and build decisions had to be made. It took patience to work through the process. Through many long nights and weekends, eventually a working, functioning prototype emerged and was ready for testing. We needed a practice playing field. One was meticulously crafted to duplicate the official competition playing field. We were soon ready for the human player to begin practice. Hour after hour, students tossed tubes at the goalposts from every angle and from every direction until they were quite proficient at making points. The human player promised to be an important element in the competition. We were ready. In the meantime, a working robot emerged. Controls were developed and fine-tuned. Propulsion systems were tested. And the robot arm was designed and built.
So we've got 4 wires that need to go to the forklift to sense position.
Modifications were made. Practice continued through the long nights and over weekends that seemed too short for the work to be done. The robot spent as much time in the shop being modified as it did on the playing field. Eventually, our prototype robots gave birth to the final model, the mighty Offender, ready for its first test. Not everyone was working on the robot. There were other things to be done. The competition was named Toroid Terror. We had a name too. We were the HyperX Offender team. Our graphics people worked this name into an eye-catching logo which would soon be seen on shirts, hats, collector pins, banners, and of course on the Offender itself. Even our shipping crate proudly bore the hot logo and stood head and shoulders above all the rest. An animation team spent countless hours drafting and designing a 30-second feature which showed our robot in action. Their effort was a terrific entry for us in this competition. Members of the high school's video team and the Proving Grounds Communications Support Group recorded the activities and meetings in preparation for producing a video as part of the prestigious Chairman's Award competition. Other team members worked on strategy and logistics.
You can run screws with rounded heads.
Travel arrangements were made. Everyone had their job and everyone contributed. On February 25th, 1997, the Offender was crated up and sent to Chicago. Our work in Milford was done. "6 a.m. Thursday, March 6th. 45 students, teachers, and staff boarded the bus for the 5-hour trip to Chicago. What could we expect? Were we going to be competitive? Would the Offender prove itself? These questions were going through the team's minds that morning in Chicago. Since the beginning, many of the team's members had split apart to work on their own particular areas of the project. This was the first time that the whole group was expected to work together as a team to reach our ultimate goal of winning matches. They walked into that arena as individuals, and they would walk out as a team. Thursday's practice rounds went well. The Offender went about its chores putting tubes on the goal smoothly and swiftly. At the end of the day, we were sure that we were competitive. Friday's seeding matches were more intense. We worked our way through the matches, emerging as the number 5 seed for Saturday's double elimination tournament. The work didn't end each day at the conclusion of the matches. The different groups went to work filing scouting reports, watching match video, and developing strategy for each possible opponent. We knew that our Offender was a contender, and each match would need its own strategy and execution. Saturday was the big test. For the first time, the other robots were showing all the tricks they had, no holds barred. We were right there with them, taking some licks, but dishing some out too. We fought the good fight, finishing a very respectable 10th place out of 38 teams. More importantly, Chicago drove home 2 messages. We could win matches. We were a team. Getting back from Chicago, there was more work to be done. Modifications and repairs were made to the Offender before it was shipped out again. Strategy people worked on information collected from scouts at the other regionals. The robot operations people practiced with our prototype, and the other groups worked on fine-tuning their projects. By April, we were ready to go. The entire team was able to make the trip to Epcot. Practice rounds were held on Thursday, giving us a chance to shake off the dust and get the feel of the Offender in competition once again. On Friday, the seeding matches began. This time, there were 113 teams in the mix. Our efforts left us in the top quarter of those participating, whetting our appetite for Saturday's tournament. Saturday's first match was the best of the day as we moved with skill and dexterity to outscore our opponents.
Stand by. 4, 3, 2, 1.
We weren't able to repeat this in the following match, and the third proved to be our last. We missed an opportunity to put our newly developed capper on top of the goal to prevent others from scoring. Our quest had come to an end. We were disappointed, but proud of our efforts. The HyperHex Offender team then rallied to the support of other GM units and their partners. Two of the groups, Powertrain and Delphi, made it all the way to the semifinals. Having to face one another in 3 tough matches, the Delphi group prevailed, moving on to the finals.
Both teams being their tubes quickly. Beatty and Hammond is going to be a race to the top. Who's going to get their tubes on first? Beatty and Hammond able to get those 3 tubes on top.
Delphi was defeated in 3 close matches. Still, it was a proud day for General Motors as we took 2 out of the top 3 spots in the national competition.
Beatty and Hammond able to collect another blue tube, and here comes
After a long day of excitement and tension, we could now relax and watch the award ceremony unfold. Proud to have just been a part of this amazing event, we were thrilled to hear our team name called as winner of the 1997 All-Star Rookie Award. No honor could have been more fitting. What we had accomplished in such a short period for a first-time team was truly an accomplishment.